Good morning and welcome. Happy Tuesday. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The phones have not stopped ringing. We had a pullback in gold and silver. You missed it. It's over. Silver's now up. Gold just turned positive. Hold on to your hats. The Dow's down 500 points. And one of my favorite people, I've got a few people, and if you've listened to me at all over the years, there's some people out there. They're not into the gaslighting, right? They're not into the bubble vision, right? They're not going to do the cheerleading. Right? They're going to tell you the truth. One of them, Jeff Gunlatch, I mention him all the time. The other, if I had a Mount Rushmore, if you will, I don't even think I'd have 4 people on it, but I definitely have 2, Jeff Gunlatch and then Stanley Druckenmiller. He was on TV today, and you guys are not going to want to miss what he had to say because he put a number on it. How long do we have? And I always say, I don't know. I don't know the answer. Well, he put a number on it today. I'm going to share that with you, so don't touch that dial. It is going to be a fantastic show. I've got a fantastic special to go with it, but you're going to have to wait for that. My mother is here. Always happy when my mom comes. My oldest son is here. My younger son is graduating from high school Thursday. So they flew into town. It's my mother's birthday today. So happy birthday to my mom. She looked fantastic. I was, because of COVID, we haven't seen her. Normally we see our mom every year. Me and my brothers, we battle for her attention. She is, I won't say how old she is, but she's old enough by a lot to talk to Sam Shook, just to let you know. But she lives by herself. She doesn't want to hear it. She's a stubborn woman, but she looked great. She looked fantastic. I was expecting worse, but she looks great, and we're happy to have her. I'll be working limited hours this week. I'll be here every day. But if you have any complaints, talk to Brittany. Brittany is in charge when I'm not here. So Jason runs Colorado. Brittany runs Phoenix when I'm not here. So please, if you have any issues, call and harass her. She'll take good care of you. What else? Oh, I forgot. How could I forget? CBD. We've got a special, so this month, somebody's winning that healthcare basket that also has the newest item that we're going to be carrying, the bath soak item. We're not ready for that yet online. We won't have it. We're waiting on the results from the lab. Remember, everything we do with our CBD products, and of course, they're not mine. They're my kind CBD. Everything's lab certified. Listen, this is the best of the best, and I keep telling it to you because I've educated myself on this. When I go out there's a store, a local grocery store right next to my house, and I like to go there because they've got a good hot food section, and I like to go and get a snack. And right at the checkouts, they've got their little display, and they got their CBD, and it's all under lock and key, and it's all just junk, synthetic oil, and it's not the real thing. What we do is anybody that orders online, you get entered into the raffle. We're going to pick one winner. Someone's winning this basket. You go to 1360 KHNC, hit the shop button, and see it's got everything in it. It's got the lotion, the tincture, the bath soak, the balm, and all this. For the rest of May, if you put KHNC in the promo code box. KHNC. Just when you place your order, you go to the shopping cart. You guys know how to do this. In the promo code, put KHNC. You're getting $5 off. There you go. Get it out there. Try it. Try it. Right? If you're having issues with inflammation, your body's a little broken down like mine, but you want to be active, try it. Don't take 40 Advil a week. Believe me, I used to do it. The retinol cream, everybody loves it. Listen, the Silver Fox, I haven't seen him, but he's got his cream. He's doing half face. He's not telling me which side of the face. I'm going to see him tonight. I can't wait. He's just doing half of it, and we're going to see. I'm expecting great things. But go out, 1360 KHNC, hit the shopping cart button, put KHNC in the promo code. You get $5 off. And again, you know why, right? Why do I do it? Why should I buy it from you versus somebody else? First, you know you're getting the best of the best. Second, our pricing's awesome. Third, it actually works. And most importantly, it supports the radio station. And people, think about David Knight, man. David Knight's show just ended, and he was talking about supporting KHNC and was talking about how all these platforms ban them all the time and all this stuff, and you can't get the truth out there. Help keep the truth out there. Order the CBD products. When we get back, Stanley Druckenmiller coming up, and he put a date on it. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. And, we do gold and silver. Why? The answer is simple. It's a hedge. What does it hedge? Well, it hedges the currency that you use. In our case, right, we use Federal Reserve notes. Well, why would we need to hedge it? Right, that's a great question. Why would we need to hedge our currency? And the answer really is very, very simple. Because the people that run it are human beings. And by the providence of God, we are flawed. I mean, we are. And think about our central bank and how flawed it really is. Ask anybody, if you had a chicken farmer, would you hire the wolf to guard the hen house? Right? Would anybody in their right mind hire the wolf to guard the hen house? Of course not. Nobody would do that. But yet that's what we've done. We've hired bankers to guard the banks. And it's created this situation where, unfortunately for all of us, they make bad decisions that they know are bad, that they know are going to punish the citizenry for the betterment of the bank. And of course they say, well, they've got to be bankers because, banking's so complicated. No, it's not. Matter of fact, if we really should wanted to have this, and of course they even set up the fallacy. And they are so good. You do have to tip your cap to the talent of these people when they set up this infrastructure. I always said you got to give credit to the founding fathers, and I know they were a bunch of white dudes. Throw the word racist white dudes in there. But they set up such a great republic. They did. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, it set us up to be the best nation on earth. And one of the things they knew is don't hire the wolf to guard the hen house. That's why they made the money gold and silver. And unfortunately for most of us, because they wanted to make sure that we were dumbed down. That they took the Boston Tea Party, which had everything to do with taxes and fiat money, and turned it into something about tea, right? And, all this not dressed up like Indians that threw the tea in the harbor. Of course, they left out the biggest part, is they forced the colony into scrip money, i.e. Paper with ink on it, took away their gold and silver, and then after a little while said, oops, never mind. That's what it was all about. That's why they said, don't let the wolf guard the hen house. So this morning, I don't know that, unfortunately, Stan Druckenmiller does not call me, doesn't call our 800 line, doesn't text me. So I never know when this guy's going to be on TV. But at about 5 o'clock, I've got the idiot box on. I got the cheerleader station on. And there he is. For those of you that don't know, he runs Duquesne. They are, again, where the billionaires invest. The guy's a rock star, if you will. But what I love about Druckenmiller, he talks very simply because it's really not complicated. And he started talking about what's going to happen to the dollar and what's going to happen to the reserve currency, status that we've held since the end of World War II, since Bretton Woods. And here's what he said. I can't find any period in history. Well, that's a big statement. Wait a minute, you've gone back, because you know how they like to do, we're going to compare it to this time and compare it to that time. Like we're talking about inflation today, right? It's not going to be the inflation of the 70s. We know that it's going to be bad. We just don't know what it's going to be. It's not going to be the same. But he says, I can't find any period in history where monetary and fiscal policy were this out of step with the economic circumstances, not one. In other words, the wolf's in the hen house. And he's eating all the chickens. And he goes, again, they talk about, we got to give everybody money and this and that. And the Fed, you've heard the Federal Reserve over and over and over again. Jay Powell, we got a lot of work to do. Got a lot of work to do. Got a lot of work to do. Janet Yellen, go big, go big. And he says it doesn't match. And he said that, hey, the first stimulus checks, those were warranted. The first PPP loans, we needed those. All this other stuff, absolute nonsense. He goes, I've never seen it before, ever. We're talking about a GDP of like 5 or 6%. And yet we're going to go $6 trillion in debt. Well, he says 5, I say 6. He's probably right, but, So he started talking about these debts. And he started talking about the dollar. And it's standing as the world's reserve currency. And he went into detail about the bond market and how much selling foreigners have actually been doing. And he goes, it's all being hidden by the Fed. If they want to do all of this, he's talking about all the spending, and risk our reserve currency status, risk an asset bubble blowing up, so be it. And I agree. I love it, right? This is what it is. Right? This is why I said you got to be diversified. Because, right, you want to ride the bubbles. And this is why I'm telling all of you, and I've been telling all of you, go a little heavier into gold and silver right now. He says, but they won't even have a conversation about it. So you can't even talk to them. They're so committed to destroying the dollar. If we're going to monetize our debt, and we're going to enable more and more of this spending, that's why I'm worried. And now, for the first time, he said within 15 years, we will lose reserve currency status. And, of course, the unbelievable benefits that have come with it. And this is something, think about what he just said. And he said it on TV. I think we're going to have a digital currency within the next 5 years. But Stanley Druckenmiller, he goes a step further. We're going to lose reserve currency status within the next 15 years. And I'm going to tell you that's a whole lot worse. Going digital is going to be bad. But essentially what he's saying is the rest of the world won't want to hold a lot of dollars anymore. You know, we've got a deficit. How big is it? I don't know. You know, Jeff Gundlach last week, remember what he said? Right, we got almost a $40 trillion deficit. Because you got to remember, you got the Fed's balance sheet to add into all this. He says, we got another $163 trillion in unfunded obligations coming due. Now Stanley Druckenmiller says, hey, listen, I don't know if any of you want to pay attention or not, but the dollar's days are numbered. And he's saying, right, and very simply what he's saying is that you can't even talk to these bankers right now. And again, think about it. Can we really have, and I don't know what the number is, 10 or 20, 25% of people not paying their rent? Could that really be possible? Remember the housing crash? Like 5% of people lost their homes. That was it. Not 10, not 20, definitely not 25. Can you have 30% of all commercial loans not being paid, and then in the same breath tell you how solvent everything is? Of course not. And he says now that things are getting better, they want to spend even more. He said in the interview, talking about what the solution is going to be, some kind of ledger system invented by some kids from MIT or Stanford. Right, of course, referring to the central bank digital currency. And he concluded that I don't know what it will be. Right? In other words, hey, it's not Bitcoin and all the way. We know that. But I like to point that out because it's not like, you know, I tell you this because I just want it to be true. But he's saying that foreign holdings of government bills, notes, and bonds has actually decreased. And decreased by over $127 billion, or another 2% in the past year. Why is that important? Well, because it's only been 1% for like the last 5 years. Now all of a sudden it's 2%. What comes after 2, right? 3, 4. Remember, how do you go bankrupt? Gradually at first. And then it's suddenly 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 2%, 2%, 3%, 3%, 5%, 5%, 10%, right? All of a sudden it's over. The problem has been very clearly identified. Jerome Powell and the rest of the world's central bankers, there's a lack of trust. I don't know that you can say it more simply than that. There's a lack of trust because Stanley Druckenmiller knows we're on the path to ruin. But that's why you have your gold and silver. And believe me, we'll come back after the crash. 800-951-0592. And I'll finish here with Stanley Druckenmiller in a minute. We've got just a huge, huge, huge opportunity today. This is, the lead pipe lock of the week, if you will. Gold was down $20 for about 10 minutes this morning. It's now just turned positive. And I got a feeling it's going a lot higher as the rest of the world starts to hear what Stanley Druckenmiller had to say. But it presented an opportunity. I've got 50 $20 liberties at $2,100. Now that's a big savings. It's $35 savings out of 20. I also, though, I got I think a better deal. Well, they're both really good. I've got 100 $10 liberties. So that's the half ounce coin at $1,050. So either or, you can mix, you can match, but I don't have any more than that. And think about it. A 20 today, $21.35 would have been the price. On a $10 piece, $1,075. So now you're talking about $2,100 for 120 or $2,100 for 2 10s. Take advantage of it. Believe me, gold is sending a message, and it's sending it loud and clear today. The Dow is down 550 points. Everyone started getting nervous. Think about what they're training us for here. We've stood in line for toilet paper. Remember? Imagine if you're in the southeast right now, heading up to the east coast. Gas lines are back. Oh, well, double, there's a problem with the pipeline. There's always a problem. Automobiles. Can't get them. I'll use my son. He's home. He rents a house with his buddies in Chicago. The wash machine broke. It happens. Call the landlord. Okay, hey, I'll send the guy over there. The guy comes over. Says, yep, it's broke. The part's on back order. I don't know when we'll have it. Could be a month. Could be longer. We wait for furniture now. How long? I don't know. Right? How about a boat? You want a boat? Good luck, right? I mean, not every boat, but, they're just not out there. Nothing's out there, right? We're being retrained. And guys like Stanley Druckenmiller see it. Here's what he had to say about how bad the wolf has gotten, talking about the Federal Reserve. Even a monkey could make money in these markets. And he just trashed the valuations on Wall Street. But you know what? He even said it. So here's what he said. I'm still in. I'm still in. By the way, we got one line open. I'm still in. But I'll be out before the end of the year. So he kind of sees a big cloud coming at the end of the year. He goes, the Federal Reserve, and he says we, but he's talking about the Federal Reserve. We're acting like we're still in a black hole. The monetary and fiscal policy, we are so out of step with the economic circumstance. So he takes a shot at the central bank. He takes a big shot at the Biden administration. Don't they get it? They're endangering the dollar's reserve status. Keeping emergency settings after the emergency has passed carries bigger and bigger risk. And the Fed that is missing its inflation targets by a few decimal points. It's time for a change. Wow. Did he just call for Jay Powell's job? I think he did. I think it's too late. Listen, I think Janet Yellen is one of the most evil people on the face of the planet when it comes down to when the history books are written 100 years from now. She's going to be one of the main players in all of this. 2/3 of all relief checks were sent after the vaccines were proved to be effective and the recovery was accelerating. Remember the show I did the other day? We're paying people $80,000 not to go work. Well, $40,000. You know, I remember my made-up family. Opportunistic politicians didn't let this pandemic go to waste. Congress has decided to satisfy its long list of desires. America's deep divisions also make the central bank's independence crucial. Fighting inequality and climate change are very far away from the Fed's central mission. Amen, brother. Amen. And I don't mean to laugh. You know where listen, I don't need to tell you this. You know it. How the hell do I have one line open? We're in a raging market in all, a raging mania in all markets. The Fed policy has enabled financial market excess like we have never seen. The central bank should balance rather than fuel asset prices. And he says, be ready for the brakes to be put on this booming economy in 2022. Pretty strong words by Stanley Druckenmiller. An absolute lack of trust, and we are going to get some digital invention, some digital ledger, and everybody's going to get a wacky. Well, I do that, the wacky part. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Just like that, half the 10's already gone. So we've got U.S. $10 liberties at $1,050. We had 100 of them. Half are gone already. We have $50, $20 libs at 2,100. So they're the same, right? You get the. I always say, you know how I like to do it. If it's the same price, get the fractionals first. Just makes sense. Get 210s versus 120 if you don't have to pay more for it. 800-951-0592. There are two lines open. Gold's off $1. Like I said, but it was down $20 very briefly this morning. Silver's actually up 25 cents, 27.52. I was going to talk about silver today. Then Stan Druckenmiller appeared. I will do it tomorrow. I will update you on all the numbers. Wow, demand is huge. We'll get to that tomorrow. I apologize. I just don't have time to do it and do it right. Major announcement, too, out of London. Apparently they lied. Well, they had a math error. They don't have nearly as much silver as they claim to have. But tune in tomorrow for that. We are talking today again about Stanley Druckenmiller, talking about they've lost their minds, essentially, both on the Federal Reserve side and on the political side, Congress. And he's right. He's talking about, listen, we're the crisis, the big emergency's over. We're growing this economy. It's incredibly reckless. Everybody sees it. Lumber prices went down for today, the first time in 13 straight days. Finally went down for one day. How long will it last? I don't know. And then they tried to spin. Remember, they did this to us at the housing crisis, too. This is really, when did I become fans of Gunlatch and Druckenmiller? I didn't know who these guys were before I did this job. I've been here 18 years. And I remember these guys earned my respect during the whole housing and financial crisis. Not just because of how plainly they spoke, but they were warning way ahead. When Ben Bernanke was calling the housing market a little frothy, or when he said it was a subprime problem, these two guys were like, what the heck is this idiot talking about? Now they're back again, both of them again. Remember, first they told us there wasn't going to be any inflation, remember? There wasn't going to be any. By the way, all lines are full, so if you get the voicemail, keep trying. All lines are full right now. If you get the voicemail, keep trying. But then they said, it's going to be transitory. Stanley Druckenmiller just came out and said, you know what? We have no trust in you, Jay Powell. That should scare the you-know-what out of everybody. That's not me saying, who am I? I'm a nothing. I'm a nobody. This guy's a legend when it comes to investing. And he's talking about now it's so bad they've jeopardized the reserve currency status of the United States. This is, let me just put it in perspective. If you averaged out the Fed's funds rate over the whole course of time, 4.9%, I think is the number. Just under, and I said 5. I think it's 4.9 and change. Stanley Druckenmiller today said, just where we're at today. You got to remember now, the debts are growing by what? $5 to $8 trillion when you factor in the Fed's balance sheet a year. Would be the interest alone would be 30% of our economy. So we got an economy that's going to be $21 trillion. That means just the interest at 4.9% would be $6.3 trillion. And rising. I mean, and this is why he said the MIE, we're going to what he called a digital ledger system, i.e., right? This is what the cryptos and all that, right? This is what the digital money is. created by MIT and Stanford, and there's a reason why he used MIT and Stanford, right? Because they're all in the central bank. The central bank, they've got a little running thing inside the central bank about the quote unquote MIT mafia in there. How about Jim Grant today? Talking about the gale of inflation of all kinds is in progress. Inflation, a clear and present, and will manifest itself into our everyday lives. There's nothing transitory about it, and this is really the big worry. And this is why you're seeing all of these voices of reason now starting to come out of the woodwork, talking about, hey, the Fed is blind here. They've missed it. We're in trouble now. Right? Our national debt isn't $5 trillion anymore. We've got a Fed's balance sheet of $8 trillion. Well, it'll be $8 trillion here next month. And rising every single day. And they pretend to talk about, someday we're going to taper. New money's coming. And remember what comes with new money. We already know from history. Major debasement. And isn't that what Gunlap said the other day, debasement? Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. I apologize. We had all lines busy during the break. Now 3 lines are back open. So if you're trying to get in, got the busy signal, now is a good time to call. U.S. $20 gold pieces, and I know we sold at least 20 of those already. U.S. $20 gold pieces, $2,100. And then the $10 gold pieces at $1,050. So 2 10s, the same price as the 20. And I know that we've sold the majority of those as well. Get in 800-951-0592 tomorrow. Unless something big like this happens again, I'm going to do an update on silver. What's going on the demand side? How much silver is actually in the vaults? What the U.S. Mint is doing, and then I will also educate all of we had a lot of new callers today, a lot of new callers. So we'll go through how it works and how easy it is to deal with us and all of those things. So tomorrow, look for that to happen again, unless something huge comes up. The Dow is down 500, it's 600 now, 625 points. The S&P, NASDAQ are all lower as well. Gold's off $1. Crude oil is positive. Get ready. Yeah, that's the next one. I have a bad feeling about crude oil. But Jim Grant, man, sometimes these guys, they just nail it. The Fed is under a misconception that it controls inflation. Kind of similar to Stanley Druckenmiller. We don't trust you anymore. Sometimes events control the Fed. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of those times. The Fed thinks that not only it can control events, but it can measure them. It believes it can pinpoint the rate of inflation. Nothing could be further from the truth. And Grant went on to say they can come out and lie and misrepresent what they believe the inflation number is. But the truth of the matter is, right, the emperor has no clothes. The Fed doesn't control inflation. It creates it. Don't ever forget that. And guess what? All of a sudden, they've become blinded, haven't they? There are strange and oppressive markers of the financial markets that have lost moorings of valuation. Never before have we had monetary peacetime growth this fast, and they don't seem to care. Despite Jay Powell's credentials, he knows nothing about the past and believes he knows everything about the future. Wow. Like I said, I've been doing this 18 years. And I don't know that I've seen stronger language from, big time investors. These are guys that are on TV a lot. They're not cheerleading. Instead, they're saying, oh my God, this is the perfect storm of horrible leadership from the Biden administration to the central bank to the Treasury Secretary, and everybody better get ready. 800-951-0592. God bless. I'll be back tomorrow.